good day when we are with Red Carpet. So quick reminder, Kim already kind of touched on it. Make sure you put your questions in the chat, all that good stuff. And we're going to have a really, really fun day today. It's hard not to have fun at a brewery. And I don't know about you, Val, it's hard not to be thirsty at a brewery.
Absolutely.
Should we have a drink?
I think we should.
Okay.
I think we should.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Bet you thought we were going to drink beer, but nope.
Cheers.
Even too early for me. All righty, gang. Well, I have the pleasure of introducing Val Miller. Val is originally from Atlanta, Georgia. Her parents moved out here when she was a sophomore at Auburn University. She had only ever visited Colorado in the winter, but in 2001, shortly after she got married, she came to visit in the summer, and all it took for her to want to move here was a patio beer at Coopersmith. She had a wheat beer, and she said, yep, we're moving here. So her and her husband, Craig, they moved here 3 weeks later, right after that beer at Coopersmith. So welcome.
Thank you.
So Val and her husband will celebrate their 20th wedding anniversary in September. So happy early anniversary to you guys. They have two amazing daughters, Tegan, who is 14 years old, and Kinley, who is 10. They also have 3 fur babies, so 2 dogs and a cat, so full house over there. I asked Val what her favorite hobbies are, and she answered, well, if I'm totally honest, there isn't much time for hobbies, and strangely enough, one of them is visiting local tap rooms, so I guess you're in the right industry. When time allows, she does like skipping town, make her way up to Steamboat. She likes to go camping somewhere close by, and of course, watching college football. She is from Auburn, so we got to keep that in mind. Yep. So we will see. We'll see if that happens this year. Hopefully, it does. Val is a huge heart for local nonprofits. She's on the board for the Junior League of Fort Collins and Project Smile. She's a big supporter of Child Safe and Kawasaki Kids. She supports many local animal rescue programs, giving her 3 fur babies. Particularly, she loves All Aboard and Bounce Animal Rescue, so good stuff there. I asked her if she could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? She said Tuscany. She's never been there. She realizes she is a brewery manager, but she still enjoys a glass of wine and some pasta every once in a while. I asked Val something she's afraid of or grossed out by that others might think is strange. And she said, hey, believe it or not, I'm grossed out by pickles of all things, and she can't stand microfiber cloths. So yeah, one of those weird, quirky little things. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun today. I'm gonna let Val kind of take over, talk about everything. So let's all raise an imaginary glass to Val at Timnath Beerwerks.
Thank you, Chad. Yeah, it would be nice. It's a little early even for me to be drinking a beer. But I so wish that you all were here with us, and we will make that happen. Our tap room is open, so if you have an opportunity to come hang out with us, we've got lots of ways to do that safely and fun and just give you a break. We've been tremendously blessed with the outpouring and the support that we've received during this. We didn't have any idea what it would look like, and it was pretty scary to start with. We have an amazing staff. So when we were closed, if you will, those that had other sources of income deferred their hours and their job, if you will, to those that did not. So we didn't have to lay anyone off. We just told them to hang tight for a little bit, and as soon as we could welcome them back, we did. So we feel very blessed to have the whole team back and to have our family, our customers, our fans back with us. I just wanted to give you a little bit of history as to how this all happened. As Chad mentioned, my husband and I moved here in 2001, and he started home brewing shortly after. And we just fell in love with the craft beer industry, made lots of friends, but we were busy. We had kids, we had other jobs. I'm a dental hygienist by trade. He was in the construction industry at the time. And really just kind of, it was on the dream list, I guess, to be involved in the brewing industry in some capacity at some time. Well, when we moved out to Timnath in 2015, we just kept recognizing that this may be the opportunity, that eventually someone was going to open a brewery in Timnath, and we started getting this crazy thought of why not us? We didn't know exactly what that would look like, but kind of put it out to the universe, and if you're have read anything on our website, there's a funny story about how Timnath Beerwerks kind of started with a trip to the American Girl doll store in Denver. And what that means is our first partner, Pete Meyer, and my husband treated the girls. They had gift cards, and they headed down to Denver to treat the girls, and they were out at lunch afterwards drinking a beer, and Craig expressed the desire to at some point get into it and maybe even start looking into a space in Timnath, and Pete jumped on board. He said, I know what your vision is, I know you have the experience, and at the time he had a remodeling company, so we thought maybe we could find a really cool space, and it all started there. So we started looking around, and in 2016 came into the Colorado Feed and Grain. I don't know how much you know about this, but it's a 1920 grain elevator building. It used to be a big hub in between Greeley and Fort Collins. A lot of agriculture, a lot of farmers stored different products. Sugar beets was the biggest one, and it was a decent sized town at the time. It had an elementary school, a middle school, a high school, barber shop, all kinds of different things. It's changed a little bit. There were a couple of fires. There was actually a fire in this building in 2012. It was on the other side of the building. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and they were able to save this side. That side has been renovated since then. But behind me, you see the stacked wood walls. Those are the original stacked wood walls. And when my husband and I walked in this space, Pete shortly joined us after, we absolutely fell in love with it. We fell in love with the history. We fell in love with the beauty of the building. It needed some love, for sure. Pete works for Brinkman Construction, and so we ended up bringing them on board. But it was a long process. It took a while. We went through the town. The town was very helpful, but it is a process to get a conditional use permit to make this a brewery. There had been a roadhouse in here that was shut down in 2005. So some of the residents were a little wary because that had gotten pretty wild at times. And so just speaking and working with the community and working with the town, long story short, we ended up bringing Brinkman in March of 2018. And it's a little tricky working with the state and the local and federal government to get your licensing for a brewery. So by the time we got all that done, we opened our doors on November 9th, 2018. Huge welcome, not only from the community, but I don't know if you all have heard, the brewing industry is very tight. It is not considered competitive. Everybody loves on each other, and the support that we received was nothing short of amazing. So we had an industry night the first day before we opened, and it was amazing. We opened to 7 hours of a line out the door into the parking lot. So it was a lot of fun. At that time, we opened with 8 beers. Most of the time now, we have somewhere between 10 to 14 on tap at all times. We brought a brewer, Cy Bevinger. He is absolutely incredible. It is an art, and he is constantly perfecting it and bringing us incredible brews, delicious, tasty brews. And he's gotten many accolades and will act as a beer judge as well. So very refined palate, and we get to benefit from that. So we brought on another financial partner, Mike Clark, along the process. And for having a number of partners, we all get along really well. It works really well. And we've had the same team, same beer tender team since we opened. We actually did add one last October, but we feel very, very fortunate that we haven't had turnover and consider each other family. Different things that we do. We don't, some of the questions we get a lot, do we have a gluten-free beer? At this point, we don't have a gluten-free beer yet because we don't feel like we've perfected that to what the level that we would want it to be. And then also too, kind of playing around with seltzers. So that gives people an option. And stay tuned for that. I would keep an eye on the website for that for sure. But I'm trying to think. One thing we really like to do is stay super involved with the community. Chad mentioned my love for nonprofits. I'm actually not currently on the board of those. Those are organizations I've been on the board in the past, but we always have something going on. Whether it's an event, which is a little tricky right now, We're partnering with UC Health. We're doing a blood drive here on July 9th. And just managing that, keeping, everyone safe. We usually oftentimes have a beer on tap where a percentage of those sales are being donated back. That comes, for example, Child Safe at their gala. Someone had an opportunity to be brewer for a day, and then we gave a percentage of those sales back to Child Safe. Right now we're involved with one called Colorado Strong. Left Hand Brewery in Longmont started, they have a Left Hand Foundation, and we over 140, I believe, over 140 breweries brew this beer, and 20% of the sales will go back. So we feel really strongly about supporting the community the best way that we can. And definitely lots of dog events over here. We are dog friendly, kid friendly. We say well behaved, all humans and dogs. Sometimes it's the humans. But we're just thrilled, fulfilling our dream and loving every minute of it, and making family along the way. We consider our customers family.
Cool. And then actually, gang, I think we're going to do a little virtual beer tour. Who's ready for that? Give me a thumbs up. All right. Well, Kim gave me one. That's all I saw. So that's all I need. That's all I need. All right, gang, let's get going into this this brewery tour.
All right. Shall we head outside?
All right.
I need my mask.
Oh, you're fine. I got mine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So it's actually 2 stories. We're going to head outside first. We're right here by the railroad. So that's always fun. We have a patio, and then we have a gravel area down here. Trying to work on our shade. So that's been really nice. This is definitely the first place people are choosing right now. And then we'll head inside here. So right now, I'm sure you're all aware, we're at 50% capacity inside. So that we actually can hold 100 inside. So we have 50 seats inside right now. This is our bar. So fun fact, my husband made the bar out of the old wood floors. They were not in good condition, and we wanted to put in concrete because it's easier to keep clean. But he made this bar. We've had a lot of help from the rest of the team in terms of constructing this. We're going to introduce you real quick. He's going to love this. This is our brewer side. So we put in garage doors, really opened up the space. Here's our beer to go. So we always have a stocked fridge ready, and we will be giving one of those away. And we've got merchandise you can get here in the store. We don't have that online yet, but come visit us and check it out. Fun little booth area where you can see a lot of the stacked wood walls, the original character. And then we will head upstairs. One little cubby here that some customers have found kind of deem their spot, their favorite. Oh, this is a mural that a friend of ours drew for us. It kind of brings you from the original Timnath, incorporates the Great Western Railway, the old Colorado feeding grain that used to be here, and turning it into a brewery. So we will travel up here, and you can see this. This is what we fell in love with, all this original character. You can see some artwork on the walls. We actually host different artists for about 3 months at a time, and they can sell their art up here. It was an art gallery at one time, so we wanted to pay homage to that. In here we have, this is what we call our conference room. So oftentimes people will hold meetings, work in here. It's also where we watch Auburn football, just saying. And then normally we have another area up here that we call our lounge, and it has a sofa, oversized chair, but that's just not something that we could open during the COVID times. But we really love it up here. It's fun because it gives little cubbies, little spots for people to hang out. Families enjoy finding their spot and making it home for a little while.
So Kim, are we about ready to kind of hop into some questions, or?
We are. Do you guys want to stay there? Are you guys good? You want to go back downstairs?
No, we can stay right here.
Yeah, we'll stay right here. We'll get set up.
Awesome. So first question we have is from Carl. He was back up at the top of me, which is fine. Do you do growlers or crowlers? What? Growlers or crowlers?
We do both. So the
Okay.
crowlers with the C are 32-ounce cans. We do have some specialty beers that are in 25-ounce cans. But then we also do the growlers, the glass growlers, and we have those for purchase here, or you can bring in your own. We ask you to bring in a clean one, and then we'll sanitize it. And that holds 64 ounces. The crowlers, the cans are going to last a little bit longer, so that's, and without the glass, they're safer, especially for camping and things like that. So most people tend to go with the crowlers, but either is an option, and we have those all the time.
Perfect. From Tara, how do you do takeout right now?
So right now we have our fridge, our cooler that is full of beer all the time. We're constantly refilling that. So some customers feel more comfortable. They can come in with a mask, but some are more comfortable even just calling from the car. So we have online ordering. You can order online ahead of time and we'll have that ready, and you just call us when you get here. And then also to the growler fills, we can do that.
Okay, very good. Another question, what is your personal favorite beer that you've had on tap?
Oh, to be honest, not to skirt the question, but it depends on my mood. I drink the raspberry wheat lager a lot. Our hazy IPA is our top seller. It's delicious. And we have, one of my favorites is a coffee Schwarz beer. Not everyone is familiar with Schwarz beer, but it stands for black lager. So it's dark in color, but it drinks pretty light, and it's delicious.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds really good. From Nate, what about food or food trucks? Are you partnering with any of them?
Oh, yes.
Food?
Thank you. Yeah, we have a food truck model. So it's a great relationship we have with a number of different food trucks. Currently, we have food trucks Wednesday through Sunday, and it's all day on Saturday and Sunday, but then mostly 4 to 8. We have that on our website. We have that calendar on there. We do have snacks. We just have some pretzels and chips and salsa. We also have non-alcoholic. We have 2 different Rocky Mountain sodas, water, kombucha from Turtle Mountain. If any of you are familiar with them in Fort Collins, they make phenomenal products. Let's see, what else? But yeah, our food truck relationships are amazing. And basically we just kind of trade. If they do enjoy beer, then they drink beer and we get dinner.
Sounds like a great partnership.
Yes.
Another question from Nate. I've seen some very cool partnerships between breweries. Is there anything like that on the horizon? You kind of touched on that already.
Yeah, we do collaborations. We currently have a beer on tap that we did with Rock Cut up in Estes. The Colorado Strong is a collaboration that really got started with Left Hand. We have a great relationship with them. We have, let's see, we just started working with Bricks in Greeley on I think it's going to be kind of a hoppy amber. And almost at all times we have something going on, whether it's a fundraising effort or whether we're just having fun making a beer together. There's usually something going on, and everything from there's an email list where if you're out of a certain hop or you need supplies, we just plug it in, and everybody, usually you get people fighting to help. It's pretty awesome.
Awesome. That's cool. John would like to know about the donuts stacked up in some of your photos.
Yes, so we did a donut pairing with Peace, Love, and Little Donuts. We often do pairings. We've done nuanced chocolates. I'm trying to think what all we have done. Cupcakes. So that's something that we look forward to getting back into. We were usually hosting about one event a month. We usually did that on Tuesdays. So not quite sure what that looks like. We had bingo every Wednesday, and that was hugely popular. Once a month we did music bingo, so we would pick a genre, 80s or heavy, rock bands or different things. And we did continue that virtually while we were closed, but just trying to figure out what events look like for right now.
Okay, so it would be the same for concerts. There's a question about when the concerts will restart.
Our space, which you saw, is a little bit quirky. It's a little bit tight. So right now we don't have a great spot for local music, but we have amazing relationships with musicians that we miss terribly, and we've been supporting through Venmo concerts and things like that. We look forward to having that back. Being in a residential area, if you know where this is, our agreement with the town allows outside music only 4 times a year.
Okay.
That's a constraint right now that we're working with, that they may give us an opportunity to do that a little bit more as long as it's during the daytime.
Okay.
Again, residential, we're open 12 to 8 Sunday through Thursday, and then 12 to 9 Friday, Saturday. So it's not a super late place. I saw a comment about the Feed and Grain being known for its fun. I was fortunate enough to have one opportunity to go there before they shut down in 2004 and heard incredible music. They had crawfish boils, but they also had no closing time. And it was pretty popular biker route at the end.
I bet. One more question. How does the Schwarz beer compare to Guinness?
Actually, we compare it to that quite a bit.
Okay.
I would say probably our 6V1 Stout, which was named after the retiring police chief here. I would say that's probably closer. The Schwarz beer is going to be a little bit lighter.
Okay. And then I think Richard Perry had his hand raised at one point. Richard, do you want to ask a question? If I can find you. Richard, where are you? Oh, here. Richard, do you still have a question? You're going to have to unmute yourself, bud. Okay. I guess Richard doesn't have a question. Oh, one more.
I was telling I'm sorry.
Was any of the space you occupy part of the burn area from the big fire?
No, it was not. This building actually has technically 4 different units or businesses. There's a residence in the middle. And so the fire department worked really hard for it to not access the residential part. So they did save the loft in the middle.
Okay.
And then we're on the other side.
Okay, very nice. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? Going once? Going twice? All right, guys, I think it's time for the ribbon cutting. You guys.
Well, not so fast, Kim. We haven't touched
Okay.
on our little giveaway, and who doesn't want free beer? So I'll kind of let Val. She'll kind of go into this, kind of what you need to do to kind of be up for that drawing, but we'll kind of have her touch on that.
Yeah, we're on Facebook and on Instagram, and if you will go in there and follow us, like our page, and give us a shout out, then we will make sure we pick one of those and get you some free beer. We're going to do the growlers probably, and we can chat about which one you'd prefer. Thank you guys so much. I can't wait to see you actually in the tap room.
And then what we'll do, gang, is so we're going to head downstairs real fast. That's where we'll do the ribbon cutting in front of the bar. And then before we do that, I do want to give Timnath Beerwerks a huge testimonial. So most of you, if you guys did attend our red carpet holiday party, they did provide the beer. Very generous, good beer. Really make your way down here. Val's a ton of fun. The bartenders are great. The beer's good. We're Northern Colorado is known for their beer, and Timnath Beerwerks is right up there with the best. So please come and stop by. But with that, let's head downstairs and cut a ribbon. Oh, I can't see. Yeah, going up and down the stairs.
You drink more beer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we might need to. So let's see.
You can stay out of the picture if you want. Will you hold this?
We're putting you to work, buddy.
You can hide behind the fridge. There we go. Okay. All right.
Let's
do this.
So we're going to do on 3, we're all going to say beer. So 1, 2, 3, beer.
Beer.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to